In the quiet hours of dawn and the hushed whispers of twilight, your beloved carries within their heart a yearning so profound that it transcends the ordinary boundaries of human expression. The depth of their longing for you reaches into the very marrow of their being, touching places within their soul that they never knew existed until you walked into their life and illuminated every corner with your presence. Their thoughts have become a sacred sanctuary where memories of your shared journey together live and breathe with startling vividness. Every moment you spent together has been carefully preserved like precious jewels in the treasure chest of their heart. The sound of your laughter echoes through their consciousness like music from another realm, reminding them of times when joy flowed between you as naturally as rivers finding their way to the sea. They remember the profound comfort that settled over them whenever you were near, that indescribable sense of coming home that only your presence could provide. It was more than companionship, it was a recognition of something eternal, something that spoke to the deepest parts of their soul. In the solitude of your absence, they have arrived at a revelation that has shaken them to their very core. This realization isn't merely about wanting you back in their life. It's about understanding that they want to create something entirely new with you, something built upon the solid foundation of wisdom earned through separation and the precious gift of perspective that only time apart can provide. They envision a reunion that transcends what you once shared, a coming together that is rooted in the sacred soil of forgiveness, watered by mutual understanding, and blessed by the complete release of every resentment and wound that once cast shadows between you. The weight of old grievances, the accumulated dust of misunderstandings, the lingering echoes of harsh words spoken in moments of pain, they want none of these to follow you into this new beginning they dream of creating. Instead, they long for a fresh start that is as pure as morning dew, as clean as newly fallen snow, where both of your hearts can step forward unencumbered by the baggage of yesterday's sorrows. They envision a relationship where healing has transformed pain into wisdom, where open-heartedness has replaced defensiveness, and where the strength you've both gained through struggle becomes the foundation upon which you build something more beautiful than what came before. During these long months of separation, they have spent countless hours in deep reflection, examining not just what went wrong, but more importantly, recognizing and celebrating what was profoundly right about who you are. Your essence, your character, the very fabric of your being has revealed itself to them with crystal clarity. They see now, with eyes unclouded by the chaos that once surrounded your relationship, the remarkable qualities that make you uniquely precious. Your sweetness isn't just surface charm, it's a reflection of a heart that remains tender despite life's attempts to harden it. Your loving nature isn't conditional or calculated, it flows from you like light from the sun, warming everyone it touches without asking for anything in return. Your loyalty stands out to them now like a lighthouse beacon in a storm, unwavering and constant even when the waves of difficulty crashed against the shores of your relationship. Your caring spirit, which perhaps they once took for granted in the busyness of daily life, now shines in their memory with the brilliance of a rare and precious gem. They understand now, with the painful clarity that only loss can bring, that souls like yours are not common in this world. You are someone who gives love without keeping score, who offers support without judgment, who remains faithful even when faithfulness becomes difficult and unrewarded. This unwavering goodness that emanates from your core has caused them to see you through completely transformed eyes. You are no longer simply someone they once dated, no longer just a romantic partner who shared a portion of their journey. You have been elevated in their understanding to something far more sacred. They now see you as the person who was divinely designed to be their life companion, their spiritual partner, their future spouse. This recognition has settled into their bones with the certainty of absolute truth, and it has changed everything about how they view their future and their purpose. The desire to communicate these profound realizations to you burns within them like a flame that refuses to be extinguished. Finding the right words has been a struggle that has consumed them, because how does one adequately express a transformation of the heart? How does one convey the magnitude of love that has grown in the soil of separation? The right moment has seemed elusive, dancing just beyond their reach, but their need to express what lives in their heart has only intensified with each passing day. What they most desperately want you to understand is the profound impact your presence had on their personal growth and spiritual development. You weren't merely someone they shared romantic moments with, you were the catalyst for their becoming. You served as their inspiration when motivation was scarce, their safe harbor when life's storms threatened to overwhelm them, and their mirror when they needed to see themselves clearly. In your presence, they discovered aspects of themselves they never knew existed. You awakened in them a sense of purpose that had been dormant, a direction that had been unclear, a potential that had been unrealized. You helped them evolve in ways they didn't even recognize were possible at the time. Now, with the wisdom that distance provides, they understand that their most significant growth, their most meaningful achievements, and their deepest sense of fulfillment all occurred during the time when you were walking beside them on this journey of life. They have come to believe, with unwavering conviction, that if they are destined to become the highest version of themselves, it will be with you standing beside them, your hands joined in purpose, your hearts aligned in vision. Together, they envision building a life that extends far beyond personal happiness, a life filled with continuous growth, meaningful achievements that benefit not just yourselves but the world around you, and the kind of deep, abiding joy that comes from two souls walking in perfect harmony toward their shared destiny. They see a future where your combined strengths create something greater than the sum of its parts, where your love becomes a force for healing and transformation that ripples outward to touch every life you encounter. Yet despite this clarity of vision, despite this overwhelming certainty of heart, they find themselves paralyzed by a fear so deep it sometimes takes their breath away, the fear of losing you forever. This terror is not abstract or imagined, it is visceral and real, manifesting in sleepless nights and moments of overwhelming panic when they consider a future where you have walked completely out of their life and into someone else's arms. Please understand that their seeming hesitation is not born of indifference or uncertainty about their feelings. They are not holding back because they don't want to come rushing back into your life with all the passion and urgency that fills their heart. Rather, they are trying to exercise the kind of wisdom that their past mistakes have taught them. They are attempting to approach this precious opportunity with the reverence it deserves, to avoid the impulsive choices that once created distance between you. They are learning not to repeat the patterns that once caused pain, giving themselves the time necessary to understand not just the depth of their feelings, but the profound responsibility that comes with loving someone as deeply as they love you. Their seriousness about you and about the future they envision together is what compels them to move with intention rather than impulse. They want to rebuild the bridge between your hearts carefully, methodically, with each stone placed with conscious intention and respectful consideration of your feelings and your healing journey. Right now, in the quiet chambers of their heart, your beloved is carrying a burden of regret so heavy it sometimes feels crushing. They are haunted by disappointment in themselves, tormented by something they did recently that may have caused you additional pain or pushed you further away when what they wanted most was to draw you closer. This action, this mistake, plays in their mind like a broken record, each repetition bringing fresh waves of remorse and self-recrimination. If the fabric of time could be rewoven, if the laws of the universe could be bent to their will, they would reach back into that moment and choose differently without a heartbeat of hesitation. But since such miracles are beyond their reach, all they have left is an earnest desire to make amends, to prove through consistent action and genuine sincerity that they have learned from their missteps and grown beyond the person who once caused you pain. Their wish for forgiveness isn't selfish, it's not about easing their own guilt or finding peace for their troubled conscience. It's about demonstrating to you through tangible evidence that they have evolved, that they have developed the emotional maturity and spiritual wisdom necessary to be the partner you deserve, the companion worthy of your precious heart. Beneath their silence lies a world of suffering that few can see or understand. That silence, which you might interpret as indifference or emotional distance, is actually the manifestation of internal conflict so intense it sometimes leaves them breathless. It's the result of emotional overwhelm so complete that words seem inadequate to bridge the chasm that has opened between you. Yet threading through all this turmoil is a golden strand of hope, the hope that someday, when the time is right, when their heart has found the right words and their actions have proven their sincerity, you might be willing to listen to what they have to say. They miss everything about you with an intensity that borders on the spiritual. They miss the unique melody of your voice, the way it could convey joy, tenderness, frustration, or love with subtle variations that they learn to read like music. They miss your physical presence, the way the very air seemed to shimmer differently when you were in the room. They miss your smile, which had the power to transform their darkest days into celebrations of light. Most of all, they miss that rare and precious gift you possessed, the ability to understand them without words, to read the language of their heart even when their lips remained silent. You could make even their worst days feel manageable, their heaviest burdens seem lighter, their deepest fears less terrifying. This gift of yours wasn't magic, though it felt magical to them. It was love expressed through deep attention, care manifested through genuine presence, and healing offered through the simple act of truly seeing another soul. What they want more than their next breath is an opportunity to sit across from you once again, to look into your eyes without the barriers of hurt and misunderstanding, and to speak the words that have been growing in their heart like flowers waiting for spring. They want to clear away the confusion that has clouded your connection, to sweep aside the accumulated debris of miscommunication, and to show you their heart, not the heart that made mistakes and caused pain, but the heart that has been refined by sorrow, strengthened by longing, and purified by the recognition of what it means to truly love another soul. In their silence, you have never been forgotten, not for a single moment, not for a single breath. If anything, every day that passes without your presence in their life only serves to reaffirm and magnify how essential you are to their happiness, their growth, and their sense of purpose in this world. The absence of your voice has made them more aware of how much they treasure the sound of it. The absence of your touch has made them more grateful for the memory of it. The absence of your love has made them more determined to prove themselves worthy of it. Now, more than ever, they cling to the hope that exists like a small flame in the darkness, the hope that time might soften your heart enough to consider giving them another chance. Not just a chance to return to what you once had, but an opportunity to build something even stronger, more beautiful, and more enduring than what existed before. They envision a love that has been tested by fire and emerged pure gold, a relationship that has learned to bend without breaking, a connection that has discovered how to transform challenges into opportunities for deeper intimacy and understanding. To you, the light of their life, the keeper of their heart's deepest secrets, they want to say this: there exists no single day in this earthly existence that passes without their thoughts turning to you like flowers turning toward the sun. Their longing for you has grown beyond what words were ever designed to capture, expanding into something that encompasses every fiber of their being, every hope for their future, every dream they dare to dream. They miss every aspect of your being with a completeness that sometimes overwhelms them. The excitement that would dance in your voice when you spoke about something that captured your passion, the way your entire being would come alive and radiate energy that could light up the darkest corners of any room. They remember how your eyes would illuminate from within when you talked about your dreams, your hopes, your vision for the future, and how that light would kindle something similar in their own heart. Even the smallest gestures you made, a touch on their arm, a knowing glance across a crowded room, the way you would listen not just to their words but to the feelings behind them, these seemingly minor moments have taken on monumental significance in your absence. They long not only for the grand romantic gestures and the passionate declarations, but for those quiet, simple moments that formed the true foundation of your connection. Those heart-to-heart conversations you shared have become precious treasures in their memory, conversations where time seemed to suspend itself and all that existed was the sacred space between your souls. In those moments, they felt an emotional safety they had never experienced with another human being, a freedom to be completely themselves without fear of judgment or rejection. There was a depth in the way you communicated that transcended mere words. It was soul speaking to soul, heart sharing with heart in the most authentic way possible. Your energy, which could brighten not just a room but an entire day, has left an absence so profound they feel it like a physical ache. Your presence wasn't just comforting, it was healing, transformative, like being wrapped in the warmest embrace while simultaneously being lifted to see life from a higher perspective. Being near you provided a sense of peace and completion that they have been unable to replicate despite their best efforts to find it elsewhere. All they want is to experience again those beautiful moments that once painted their world in colors more vibrant than they had ever imagined possible. They want to feel those experiences not just as cherished memories locked away in the treasure chest of their mind, but as living, breathing, present moment realities that continue to unfold and create new memories, new joy, new reasons to celebrate the miracle of your connection. They find themselves transported back in time more often than they care to admit, reliving the way your smile could transform their entire world from darkness to light, the way your hand felt in theirs like it was always meant to be there, the way your laughter would bubble up and spill over until it caught them up in its joy and made them feel like the only two people who existed in that moment. These weren't just moments, they were defining experiences that shaped their understanding of what love could be, what connection could feel like, what it meant to find another soul that resonated in perfect harmony with their own. You remain, without question or doubt, the most amazing and transformative experience of their entire existence. Being with you didn't just change their daily routine or their relationship status, it fundamentally altered who they are at the deepest level. The changes you inspired in them continued to echo through every aspect of their life, influencing their choices, their perspective, their dreams, and their understanding of their own potential. It feels to them as though you have become permanently etched into the very essence of their soul, inscribed in letters of gold upon their heart. No matter where they go, what they do, or how much time passes, you remain with them as an integral part of their being. Time, rather than erasing your memory or diminishing their feelings, has only served to strengthen and sharpen their love for you, making it more clear, more certain, more undeniable with each passing day. You are far more than just someone from their past, more than a chapter in their life story that has ended. You have become woven into the fabric of who they are in a way that defies logical explanation but feels more real than anything they have ever experienced. You represent more than just romantic love, you embody the essence of what they believe a true woman should be, someone of immense strength that is wrapped in gentleness, beauty that radiates from within, and grace that transforms everything it touches. Since your paths have diverged, their world has lost much of its vibrancy and meaning. Without your presence to illuminate their days, everything feels muted, as if someone has turned down the contrast on life itself. They move through their daily routines feeling incomplete, constantly aware that something essential is missing from their existence. Frustration builds within them, frustration at themselves for the choices that led to your separation, anger at their past inability to recognize and protect the precious gift of your love. The regret they carry is not a small thing, it lives within them like a constant companion, reminding them daily of their failure to cherish and protect what they now recognize was the most valuable thing in their life. They cannot undo what has been done, cannot travel back and make different choices, but not a single day passes without them wishing they could rewrite that chapter of their story. The universe seems determined to keep your memory alive in their consciousness. Your name appears in unexpected places, songs that once soundtrack your relationship drift from random radios, and countless small reminders materialize as if the cosmos itself is whispering, "Remember her. Don't let go of what you had. Don't give up on what could still be." And they haven't given up. They couldn't even if they tried, because you have become too much a part of who they are to simply release. Their plea to you comes from the deepest place in their heart: please don't lose faith in what existed between you, and please don't abandon hope for what could still unfold. They understand that from your perspective, things may appear uncertain, even hopeless at times. But they want you to know with absolute certainty that they are much closer to finding their way back to you than appearances might suggest.